Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Open
get
it
it.
up.
Open it up.
What's going on, everyone?
We got one more week, baby, of the
One more week.
seltzers.
Welcome. Oh, shit. Welcome to Cold Ones Conversations. I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts, Harry Heaps, Harold Hoops, Harold the Wizard. Go by many names, so many trades. And I'm joined by my good friend, the body, Sunday, fun day, Brendan Petrilli. Petrilli, how you doing today, brother?
Good, brother. Good, good. I put this shirt on for one reason and one reason only.
Tell him.
I'm planning to have a lot of fun this Sunday, and that's all I got to say for right now. Just a little taste of the energy. It's going to be coming
Just a
throughout
day.
this weekend here.
Yeah. Just a taste. It comes down to, that's what everybody wants. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just reiterate, we're gonna talk some Eags today. We're gonna talk some Eags. We're gonna talk some fucking Bengals. Fuck them. We're gonna talk some KC. We're gonna talk a lot. But I just want to remind everybody, this is now an Eagles show. Um, I describe myself, and Trilly agrees with this. If you guys have ever seen Goodfellas, Robert De Niro, he couldn't be made. He couldn't be made because he was half Irish and half Italian, half from the boot, half from the island, right? That's me with Eagles fans. I'm accepted. I get a taste. I get to make collections. I get to make deals, but I can never fully be brought into that family. I can't get the button. As the Soprano said, I can't get my finger pricked. And I'm all right with that. I get to do business. I do well with the business that I do. I'm associated. I can't be touched, but I don't get to get my finger pricked. So that's all right. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's jump right in, dude. Let's
Well,
jump right
I
in.
think that was a very fair assessment. And before we
Yeah,
dive in here, I'm rocking the blanket here in the house. It's fucking freezing.
it's
I'm
cold. I got the candle on.
once once we get going here and those subscribers keep on coming in, make sure you're pressing that bell. I know my BSP podcast has been taking off lately, and I really appreciate that. Let's
Here
get
we
that
go.
love here. Let's get that love over here on Cold One Conversations. Let's
Hell
get it
yeah.
going. Let's get it above 70 by next episode. We're having so much fun with this. We hope you guys are enjoying it. But when we get it going and when we're in person and we get the big house with the yacht and everything, I'm moving to Miami, Harry, or Fort Lauderdale.
I'm down. Let's go. Fort Lauderdale, here we come. We'll do our office in Fort Lauderdale. No. Offices in Miami.
Yeah. House in Fort
Houses in
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. And then
Right.
penthouse in Philadelphia, just, for the games.
Well, just out of respect to the season.
Yeah.
Right. All right, here we go. Let's kick it off, dude. This not to reflect and not to go too deep, right? But like this regular season, not only was it just phenomenal and tremendous because it was the first season of the show, but there was so much that happened. Quarterback injury after quarterback injury. Teams that started off awful are now going to the AFC Championship. Teams that were scoring 42 points for the first 7 weeks of the fucking year couldn't score more than 20 the next 7 weeks. The Philadelphia Eagles, with a coach in only his second year, are arguably Super Bowl favorites. The 49ers with a backup are arguably the most dangerous team in football right now. So much has occurred, right? It's been such a crazy, crazy season. But what's the one thing that's always stayed the same? The Dallas fucking Cowboys never disappoint to disappoint.
Damn right.
I mean, dude,
We know nothing better.
I want to start off.
The 24 years I've been alive, all I know is
Dallas sucks.
It's church on Sunday and football, and the Dallas Cowboys absolutely choking.
Here's
what I know.
The deal, dude. Here's the deal. I liked Dallas in this game. You know that. One of my picks was I took their money line, dude. And I took their money line for the right reasons. They were plus 172 because what did I say last week, Trilly? I said Brock Purdy was going to be on his ass 3 times in the first quarter. Got sacked twice. I was 1 off. That defense was tremendous. Their schemes, Mike McCarthy, again, what did I say? Last time he had an elite defense like this, he won a Super Bowl. He truly showed off that talent again. But Jerry Jones said it best when Big Cat called it out, standing over that media person's shoulder saying, write this. And they tweet that shit out about Dak. I mean, he is right now the worst franchise quarterback that there is. There's nobody that's getting the contract that he's getting that you genuinely have in reality, outside of being a Dallas fan, less hope in. And, that first quarter, dude, I was like, Dallas seriously has a chance here. Dak's doing just enough, and the defense is getting this shit done. And then he was trying to find 49ers players to throw the ball to. I mean, the under hit tremendously, 19-12 in San Francisco. We see now after Seattle and after Dallas, Brock Purdy's definitely got a lot of weaknesses.
A lot of holes.
A lot of holes. And we'll get into that more in a little bit. But we got to first focus on this team that absolutely could have upset them, dude. As a guy who's in that division, what went wrong for Dallas?
They should have won that football game.
Yes.
100% should have won that
100%.
Dak doesn't throw those interceptions. They win that football game.
Correct.
You have people saying if Cooper Rush is in there, Dallas wins that football game. I'm not crazy like that, but I understand the concept behind it.
Sure.
Cooper's not taking those chances that Dak was. They fooled him into one of those picks with Fred Warner, where he kind of shadowed one and then jumped it, snagged it. Another one was a deflection, popped up in the air, but it was a bad throw. He was a couple more late in those last couple 5 minutes. He was trying to give that back to that defense.
Yeah.
So when it comes to it, it's Dak Prescott, it's the head coach, and when it comes full circle now, how did the season end last year? How did the season end this year?
Right.
Terrible play calls. What are we doing? A QB draw for 15 yards to run out the clock. To this game where you have Zeke Elliott lined up under center, gets absolutely put in to like the metaverse or something, and just to throw a 5-yard out just to get absolutely tackled.
I gotta pause you. I gotta pause you right there. I'm sitting next to the Mrs. Stepdad. We're watching the game, and I see that Zeke is under center. I go, why the fuck is Zeke under center? He responds back to me, why the fuck wouldn't he be? I go to protect Dak. He's like, they'll get it done. The guy pushed him. He pushed him over.
Into like the shadow realm. Like
a child pushes his action figure down. Like what was that? What was that play call?
I guess they were going to try to get Zeke into like the middle. He'll snap it and then go follow and try to hit like a pop pass and go.
I guess.
But a quick slant and the defense was all over it. They just leveled him, game over. And that's just comes down to coaching, unprepared, and just the guy just can't get it done. They just have tried to overthink things and they just keep fucking it up every step of the way. It's the culture, it's the coaching, and these guys know nothing better for this franchise. The players don't know anything better. You haven't brought in any winners there.
Sure.
From outside, right? So what do they know? They know what their head coach gives you, and it's that guy who's standing on the sideline, just looking fat as ever, as Big Cat likes to say.
He's a whale.
I'm fat, so I can say it. All right. So, but
dude, he makes a triple X look small. Yeah. Mike McCarthy, if you want to be on the show, we'll have you. But the point being is, he makes it look like, and I've always wondered why you notice how he does this? And I don't see other coaches do this. He does this.
Oh, the folded over.
Yeah. Folded over on the shoulder. You know why I think that is? There's an XL Snickers bar in there.
And
he's got for bites.
Yeah.
For bites. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you right now. Listen, I totally agree. Enough of that Dallas talk. Let's talk about the Niners.
Well, real quick. I was trying to come up with like a comparison for Dak Prescott, right? And it brought me to a similarity of game with Donovan McNabb, where he can run it a little bit and he can sling it. But at the end of the day, now this is where it's discrediting Donovan a lot, where Donovan's gotten to the Super Bowl, gotten to multiple NFC championship games where Dak hasn't gotten past the divisional round. So that's a big discredit to Donovan. But game similarity, the guys they're somewhat mobile. If not, Donovan was more mobile in his prime than Dak. But they both throw the ball. They take too many risks. They are just not always smart with the football. So Dak is a worse Donovan McNabb. So I was trying to find somebody else. I didn't love that take, but I don't know what you were kind of thinking there.
Dak is just not a good franchise. He's just not a good starting quarterback. I mean, that is literally what it comes down to. He would be the greatest backup of all time. I was thinking while you were saying that, where would Dak fit where he could be successful to make it out of the first round, right? And I thought, what about New England? Greatest coach ever.
I just don't think he could,
No,
dude.
no, he can't. He can't.
He can't
He
get out of his own
cannot
way.
succeed under any sort of pressure. He can't do it. I don't even know if you put Dak 3 years ago as the Green Bay quarterback in that weak ass division that it was when he won the first MVP in the COVID year. Can Dak get there? No. Even with all that talent, with the best receiver in football at the time, still is somewhat AJ Brown, I would argue right now is, but in Devontae Adams, right? He doesn't know how to. He doesn't have that dog. But at the end of the day, dude, he has the greatest agent of all time.
Yeah.
His agent took him and got him a top freaking contract in this league.
Yeah.
It's
Doing
crazy.
nothing. Won a
Doing
rookie of
nothing.
the year. Or split it with Zeke, offensive rookie of the year.
What do you think Jerry does? Does
He hasn't
Jerry
gotten
look
better though, Harry? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Normally, he's getting into his prime now. He's in his prime. Normally,
in his
he's
prime.
gotten better. You've made steps.
Yep.
He hasn't made steps.
He hasn't made steps. 100%.
If anything, he's gone backwards the past 2 years.
He's gotten more talent and still lost games and gotten a better coach.
Yeah.
He got a coach who won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, what does Jerry do? Do they make a play to move off of Dak?
No, I think they're stuck with him because I don't think anybody would take him. You think anybody?
I don't think that anybody would take him either. No, that's the issue. The only team that I could see taking him, but they're in too good of a rebuild. In all honesty, the only team that I could see taking him is maybe the Commanders. But he's not. They're not going to trade him to an in-division team.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I hope Mike McCarthy stays there. I hope Dak Prescott stays there. I hope.
Of course you do.
Quinn, the defensive coordinator, stays there. I want that team to stay how it is. Please don't do anything different. Because I'm confident moving forward throughout the next couple of years with my team's depth, with the other team's depth in the NFC Beast, honestly. And they're just going to keep getting older and keep losing guys.
Yep.
So
that's division football.
Now flip over to the flip side because they really should have won that game, Harry. They really should have.
Absolutely.
They should have beaten the 49ers. The 49ers didn't really do anything too special. Their defense was good. They weren't great. They weren't fantastic. They weren't getting sacks left and right. They weren't getting pressures left and right. Their biggest thing that they did well was dropping in the coverage, and their linebackers were flying all over the place. And then on the other side of the football, the middle game, like in between the dots going down the field, in the middle of the field, that's where they thrived. And Dallas just let them do it. They let them run the ball up the middle. They let Purdy throw quick slants, quick stick routes to George Kittle. I mean, the one big catch with Kittle that he should have got absolutely blown up by Trayvon Diggs, that was the game changer. That changed the whole game. Nobody had a big play all game because both teams were getting absolutely dominated by the defenses, and he had the one big play, and that's all it took. So when it comes down to it, this team has proven that they've withstood shots at multiple different levels now in multiple different games, and they're a good, deep team. They're very flawed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, to say that they're very flawed, I think is a little bit of an over-exaggeration given that you're going. I would be saying it. I would be saying it if it was my team facing them. There is no other team, to my knowledge, in NFL history outside of the Eagles when you won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. There is no other team that has made it this far with this many changes at the quarterback position. And that right there alone is something to be said. You started with Trey Lance. He gets hurt. You go back to Jimmy G. He does well. Then he's kind of lackadaisical. Then he gets hurt. And now you got this no-show out of Brock Purdy, who has been lighting up the league. Still a kid. He's not a franchise quarterback. If you want him to develop into one, give me my free session with my trainer and bring in Tom Brady next year. Let him sit behind the GOAT for a year and then get good. But let's stick on topic for right now. I totally agree with you, man. They showed their holes. I mean, we talked about they showed their holes. I kind of sound weird. We talked about it last week, right? If they made the mistakes that they made with Seattle in the first half, if they did that in that first half against Dallas, Brock Purdy was going to get sat on his ass. Same thing's going to happen with the Eagles. Because the thing that I think is going to be so aggressive about the NFC Championship is the offensive and defensive line play from each team. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. You have got two juggernauts on both sides, on the 49ers offense and defensive line, and on the Eagles offensive and defensive lines. Obviously, the ones that stand out through both of them are each team's defensive lines. They're crazy. But dude, it's like, yeah, I mean, what I see from this upcoming game that I think that we've seen is that Purdy needs to be protected, and he needs for Debo to be able to do it all. And then he can see the field otherwise. I think going into the NFC Championship, he's going to rely heavily on McCaffrey to run, and he's going to rely heavily on Debo to run and to be open for slants. I think that the Eagles secondary and your inside and outside linebackers are going to look to shut out Kittle. They're going to look to shut out, what's his name, number 11?
Ayuk.
Ayuk. And I think it's going to come down to a run game, via the 49ers. I think it's going to come down to a pass game via the Eagles. Get into that a little bit later. But just the point being is, do they have a shot? Of course they do, dude. They are arguably the most physical team in all of football. This is going to be 2000s era defensive game. It's going to be crazy. But they're not impenetrable. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, all around, they did what they had to do to win. And that's all it takes in the playoffs. Well, week by week. It's all that matters. And then when it comes down to it now, right, you're looking at another team that they did what it had to take, and that's the Chiefs. Patty Mahomes coming back.
Patty McPatty.
Battling through the high ankle sprain, was out for a couple drives, came back after halftime, and gets a 27-20 victory. I mean, other than that cover there that absolutely killed the parlay to start with, I mean,
dude.
Yeah. That late field goal cover by Doug Peterson. Yeah. I've never hated the man more than that field goal, but it was ugly. Their defense was solid. Jacksonville was more, they weren't as free and easy as Doug has been in the past, careless. They were trying to be too perfect, a little bit what it felt like when they weren't rushing on defense when Patty came back. Like, the guy is hobbling. He's wincing. Send 3-4. I think they were just too afraid of him sitting back and picking him apart after that, I guess. So, I mean, what do you think of that Jacksonville side before we get into the Mahomes?
Well, before we get into either, I mean, you're trying to gloss over the biggest fact about this game. We went head to head in this game. You took the over. I took the under.
Yeah.
You took the over. I took the under. And what hit?
What was the over? I forgot.
52.5.
No.
What hit? Oh, 47 total points. That's called the under. Unders, you got to know how to talk to. It's like underpants. You talk to them right, they'll fit you just nice. They hold the family jewels. It's a good time. You've been talking dirty on them lately. Fuck them. I'm never taking them again.
Well, those underpants, they got streaks all in them, and they get disgusting.
But if you don't clean
smelly, they're gross.
Only somebody who doesn't clean them would say that.
Yeah.
Somebody who cleans them doesn't have to worry about the streaks. Let's talk about the Jacksonville, though. Won that bet. Suck it. The Jacksonville Magic had to run out at some point. They did well. They could have seized on the opportunity more of Patrick being down. Defense could have gotten after him better. Still was a touchdown game, dude, against who I've been saying is the team outside of the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I've been saying that since week 9, week 10 in this KC team, and they gave him a run for their money. This was a real deal game. for a little while at least. I think that the biggest takeaways from this are Jacksonville is a team now that is legitimate and is here to stay. They've got a top five talent. They've got a top five talent. They've got what I would argue how Jared Goff has solidified himself now in the city of Detroit and will get another contract in Detroit. Doug Peterson is the future of that coaching staff within Jacksonville. He's solidified himself in that town and will get another contract in Jacksonville. He's the real deal. And he knows he's in a weak division. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. This Jacksonville team, dude, in the coming years, they get a little bit more defensive talent. They're going to be scary. They're going to be the real deal. I don't have anything else to say outside of that besides that it makes sense to me that they lost, man, is what it comes down to. They forced Trevor to throw a lot, 24-39. It's kind of been that way all season long. Whereas Patrick was 22-30. Trevor threw for 217 yards, a touchdown and interception. His QBR was 54. Patrick's was 77. Who cares? The point just being is, if I'm Jacksonville, man, this is the best season that you've had since Ramsey thought that you were going to beat Tom Brady and go to the Super Bowl. You're rocking it right now.
With the boat, Blake Bortles.
You're rocking it. Take the W on the season. Lick your wounds. Where did he go out to dinner that everybody was screaming about? Where did Trevor go out to dinner?
Trevor? Waffle House.
Waffle House. Go get us, get Waffle House to give you the waffles for free, even though you're all making millions, and call it a day. That's my take on the Jacksonville Jags.
Yeah. 0 sacks on a hobbled Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
That can't happen. No. You got to take advantage of that. You have an all-pro, all-world quarterback, have a high ankle sprain that he's getting in a little bit of a scuffle with Andy Reid on the sideline, saying, hey, you're not going back in until you get an x-ray, which good on Andy, and he finally gets back in there. A couple plays, he's like giving a little gimp, and no sacks. That can't happen. That's why they lost, honestly.
100%.
They just weren't aggressive, and it came down to it. You can't go away from what got you there. Now, they didn't turn the ball over as much as what was the problem with 4 interceptions in the game before, but you've seen where it's a give and a take, and they just took. And the Chiefs gave it to them. I didn't think anything too crazy about the Chiefs in this game.
No.
Obviously, the biggest storyline moving forward is going to be Mahomes' ankle. But other than that, the Chiefs were the Chiefs. Their defense is good. Not fantastic.
The
Jags were still able to move the ball a little bit on them, but
scored 20. It was a touchdown game. It was a one-score game. The last thing I'm going to say, which is sad that this gets overshadowed, but, and we haven't even talked about it yet. Biggest part of that game, dude, was Kelsey. 2 touchdowns on the day. I mean, this guy's
a beast.
He's a freaking name. I mean, dude, he's going to be the greatest tight end of all time. He is. He's a wide receiver playing as a tight end. And he's just ridiculous, man.
And the way him and Mahomes are on the same page at all times, it just makes it even crazier.
It's the Brady Gronk, it's the Brady Gronk, it's the Brady Edelman. He's always there where he needs him to be whenever he needs him to be there. That's what it is. The connection is just so freaking sound, dude. It's crazy.
I wonder what his stats are compared to Tony Gonzalez with the Chiefs.
They're close. Didn't he just pass him on something?
Yeah,
pass him on the touchdowns. No, I think that it's just, what it comes down to is the Chiefs are a team that never wants to break up the band. They're a lot like the Golden State Warriors. The band always wants to be together. I think the band is willing to take less to keep the band together because they see the success that they have. Had a little of a tongue tied there, asking Trilly for sex almost. They see the success that they have when they are together, just like the Warriors do. Yeah, we had injuries 2 years ago, but then they got back together and they beat Boston, right? Mm-hmm. That's who KC is. That's why Patrick decided to take a team-friendly deal. And people always say, team-friendly, he's getting paid $500 million. Yeah, he's getting paid $500 million. But in 3 years, there's going to be guys making $12 million more than him. People say $12 million, what's he need that for? Because he's the best. He's the best.
He is.
And he's going to be taking less because he wants to win. That's a reason why Patrick is, in my opinion, Patrick will end his career at a minimum. I said it I said it when you and I were watching that Super Bowl together and you were bombed to death in that house together against the 49ers. This guy's going to end with 3 rings. The reason why he's going to end with 3 rings is the exact reason why Aaron isn't, because he's taking less money. Kelsey's going to do the same thing. People are talking about Juju's going to leave after this season. Juju's not going anywhere. He knows how good he has it. He loves it. He's on a winning squad with a head coach that isn't riding him that much because he knows that he can do his job. They are the real deal, dude. And I'm going to tell you right here, right now, they make it to the Super Bowl. And when they beat Cincinnati, whether they win the Super Bowl or not, it's solidified that Patrick Mahomes is what I've been saying. He's the LeBron James of the NFL. That's my last take.
Yeah, I mean, definitely have everything going in that direction for sure. But moving on to the flip side here, real quick before we talk about that other guy that's going to be competing with him for that back and forth. We're going to talk about him. But real quick, Tony Gonzalez, they're about the same amount of years in a Chiefs jersey. Tony G had over 100 more catches, but only 550 more yards.
Yeah.
Kelsey averages a yard more, and he had 69 touchdowns for Kelsey. Nice. And then 76 for Tony G. So
favorite number, favorite position.
Yeah. But now that having him go along with him and them taking a little bit less, where, Tyreek wasn't going to do that. They both have gotten paid moving forward. It's going to be an interesting battle out the AFC because there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the AFC, and they're going to be going up against each other this weekend. And Josh Allen, you would have thought it was going to be him, but Joe Burrow goes and absolutely dismantles that Buffalo team and that defense. Josh Allen looked brutal.
Yep.
And Joe Burrow, cool, calm, collected, just did everything right. And you saw how they got there last year. It was going to be offensive line problems. No problem at all. They were able to run the football. They were able to get his 3 wide receivers open. It's crazy. T. Higgins is evolved into a number 1 wide receiver. He's always been the potential, but now he's finally getting consistently to that, where it's going to be him and Chase, 80 plus yards a game, where you got to pick one or the other and try to stop him. It's going to be tough. And with Joe Burrow at the helm there, it's going to give Patty a run for his money because he's had his number 3-0 the last 3 times facing him.
And it's coming to an end.
It's Burrowhead, Harry. It's Burrowhead.
Fuck
but
that.
We'll get to that in a second.
It's not Burrowhead.
What do you think of Joe Burrow going to Buffalo in the snow? Joe Cool.
All right.
Dominate.
Are you done? Are you done? Because I want to talk about this. Fuck him. Joe Cool. Shove it. You almost lost to fucking Huntley. All right. Here we go. We're not going to talk about Cincinnati yet because I want to be, I'm a professional. Okay. So I'm going to wait. But we are going to fact check for the first time in this show's history. And we're going to fact check me because I'm going to go back. I'm going to clip it. I'm going to put it up. And it goes back to what I said week 4, if you remember, Trilly, what I said. It was our first ever big clip that we did. And it was when I said Josh Allen and this Bills organization is going to be the 2.0 of what the Green Bay organization has asked out of Aaron. You got talent. Go out there and do your thing. We'll win. And that's what they expect out of this guy. They made no adjustments to seeing their first 3 and out. They went out there, dude, and they were off the field like that. You look down, you might have looked down at your remote to turn up the freaking volume, and they were already off the field. It was ridiculous. That was the best that Cincinnati's defense has played all season long. There's no question about it. It was ridiculous how they were prepared, over-prepared. The Bills didn't even deserve to be on that same team. It reminded me of last year's divisional round in the NFC. 49ers go to Lambeau in the snow, and Green Bay can't close out. All conditions are going for you. It's at home. Your crowd is out here getting frostbite, losing fingers, biting them off, putting mustard on it just to make ends meet. And you got 3 feet of snow going on during the game. And Buffalo had the same deal. And all they expect is for Allen to go out there and just be Allen. And you can't do that. You can't do that when all season long you don't have a run game and you don't make a single point to go get out a true number one running back. You can't do that when you expect your quarterback to be the main offensive rusher on your team. You can't do that when you lose the guy that you brought in for these late season defensive stretches in Von Miller and he goes down and you don't overly prepare knowing that you're going to face another top 5 AFC quarterback, NFL quarterback. You don't adjust. You had over 5 weeks before we even got to the Super Bowl to do so, to sign somebody, to make a move. The Bills proved the point, even though, yes, I took them minus the 5.5 because it was a spiteful bet, and that's what I'm going to keep it to, that it was spiteful. It was hatred. It was like seeing an ex-lover. I just wanted to see them crash the car. The Bills proved what I've been saying all season long. They're overhyped. They don't have the AFC. They don't have the AFC East locked. They can lose it at any time. If the Jets get a number one quarterback, they absolutely could. Miami's right on their heels. And on top of that, this organization wants Josh Allen to just be Josh Allen and think that they're going to get a Super Bowl. They are now 4 years in a row with failing. They've got to go right back to the drawing board and figure out what the fuck they need to do. And the first thing it starts with is you need to get a number one running back. You've got to get a top 7 guy. You cannot have time of possession here if you can't force a rush. I will hit Cincinnati later. I first want to hear what you think about that.
No, I mean, you said pretty much everything I was going to say. Von
Right.
Miller, the one thing, Von Miller, the running backs, I've been saying that for years. And the biggest thing where you hit it, the in-game adjustments, losing Brian Dable was huge for this team.
Yes.
There was no offensive creativity. There was no
lost
adjustments, no fire in this team. It was go Josh go. It wasn't draw up, hey, we've seen this XYZ, we've been setting this up. Nah, none of that really. None that they were able to execute on.
Yep.
So those are the biggest things. You hit it all right on the head, honestly. And moving forward, yes, get a running back. Yes, get another pass rusher. Other than that, it's figuring out the scheme. Everybody wants to say Jalen Hurts is a product of, the system, right? The system. Well, Josh Allen's he's got the guys, right? But the system isn't around him right now. It isn't setting him up for success, where it's him setting the success up around the scheme.
Yes.
Where it should be the other way around. That's where people get confused. The system should be setting your players up for success. So
totally
that's
agree.
where they're at. They're struggling with that identity offensively and moving forward. But I want to tip my hat to Baltimore because they played a hell of a game, Harry, against that Bengals team that absolutely bent over and dominated. That Bengals team, that offense was clueless. And all
Lamar's in there. They're not there.
What? Yeah.
Lamar is in there. They're not there, but continue.
We're not going to be totally delusional here, but they played them and they showed their flaws, and the Bills were not able to capitalize on what you literally just saw on film the week before. They didn't do anything. They didn't take anything to stop them from the week prior.
Yeah.
So that's their biggest thing is Joe Burrow's ability to go and sauce you up and chop you up and do everything that he wants. It's going to be tough because to stop him moving forward, because if anything, they're just going to keep building around him even more. You might lose a receiver here and there, but he makes these guys better. They're going to keep getting him offensive line. If not, they're going to get their backup offensive lineman $10 million a year now because they keep losing these guys throughout the year. Yeah. So that's where everything's going to go. You have the decent defense. PFT, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about that they have the best defensive line in the playoffs left, but
stupidest thing. That has been his stupidest take all year long. No, legitimately.
He just said it this week, but I'm just like, come on, bro. What are we talking here?
You can't. You have to take, if you want to know who a team is, you take their best game away from the season and you take their worst game away from the season. Cincinnati has never played that good. That is their best. That is their best that they've ever played since Burrow's been their quarterback. They didn't even play that good in the Super Bowl. That was an even better performance because of how bad those conditions were. And they dominated, right? My whole thing is that's not who that team is. This team is great. This team is phenomenal. They are not outstanding. You can't make that their label. You can't make that their label. They're superstars, but they are not the juggernaut that Tampa Bay was when they went on and just rolled.
They don't have a dominant side of passing game or pass rush or secondary. They don't have an overall.
They're just good in everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Which makes
Joe Burrow, you can argue, is dominant, and
he's dominant.
Chase, but like their passing game isn't elite. I would say they're not going and throwing for 500 yards, 400 plus yards a game.
But they don't need to. That's the other thing.
Yeah, Joe Mixon has been able to come up big for them.
And what's his name? Joe Mixon and who's the other guy? Dude, he's had an outstanding second half of the season.
As a back guy, yeah, for sure.
Last thing I'll say, did you see what the GM of the Bills said?
Yeah.
Have to go through some lean years. What a shot.
Well, and he said, I don't want to suck enough to get Jamar Chase.
To get them. Yeah. And what a shot. But that was kind of the definition of loser talk.
Yeah. Oh, no. They don't want to be that. He wants to win.
Right. But you just lost to those guys. And you said that.
Trying to take a shot that they were that bad.
Yes.
Maybe a little.
All right. We'll be back. We're hitting a quick break.
We got the best game coming up here. Best. All right, Harry, let's fucking go, boys.
Let's talk some business.
I know you guys have all been waiting. Oh, where's the Eagles talk? Mr. Eagle, he gets a little too aggressive. This is an Eagles podcast, some would say. And Harry's kind of coming along to it, at least for right now. We're allowing him into the family because, we're all, as much as we love the underdog, as much as we love to be hated on, no one likes us. We don't care. And that still remains true. We always love to have people hop on board with us. We love the Kyle Brandts and the likes that love to keep it going. The Shady McCoys coming, showing us love on national broadcast nowadays. We love our guys supporting us. Because guess what? We went out there. Not we. Sorry. People got mad when I said we. When the Eagles went out there, and guess who told you?
This is when we say we,
right?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I can fucking say we. If I cry in front of the TV, I can fucking say we.
I agree. I'm fucking spending a shit ton of money on these assholes. Blood, sweat, and tears, just like them.
Yeah.
I cannot be playing, but I'm putting everything else out there for them.
Yeah. You want them to win more than they want to win.
Yeah. And they're making millions. I'm making diddly squat here, okay?
Yeah.
Big things coming soon. But what did I tell you here? What did I tell you on BSP Podcast? Go there for a little bit more. I'm going to keep this quick because I don't want to be too crazy about it. It's a really good episode back there. Go check it out and subscribe there also. But I told you, everybody's like, oh, this might be close. The Giants, they can keep it close. Maybe they played Kirk Cousins and the Vikings well. They're hot. The Eagles are rusty. Jalen Hurts is banged up. Lane Johnson's hurt. Well, you never know. Saquon can run the ball a little bit. Danny Dimes is throwing it well. Fuck out of here. This game was over from Jump Street when Brian Dable said, yeah, go ahead. Eagles, you have the ball first. All that momentum that you had over the past week. That's all they had because the Eagles beat them in week 18. Yeah, it was ugly with their backouts. They beat them. They had no momentum. They had no momentum the week before, really. They played rusty also. So moving forward, you gave all of that momentum up beating a bad, exposed, fraudulent Minnesota Vikings team. And you gave it all away because Jalen Hurts went and showed you that he is totally fine. He went down the field and we did whatever we wanted to you guys. And I was happy. You didn't have to sweat it. That was the Philadelphia Eagles that we watched for the first 14 games of the year. And I loved every minute of it, Harry. Now, you kind of give me a little bit of what you thought of this game, right? Because I just want you – I'm going to wait for this question in a little bit. But once you saw Jalen throw that ball to Devontae Smith, the second throw of the game, what were some of the things going through your mind there?
Well, can I just give you the definition of what the game was before I answer that question?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
It was an OUTA, opening up that asshole. I mean, I was with the missus. We had a big group come up to her place in Jersey, and everybody who was there is Eagles fan, right? And she's all concerned about going to the bars while the Eagles game's on. The next day, she's like, nobody was really paying attention to the game. I thought it was going to be a much bigger deal. I turned to her, I go, babe, it was 14-0. Game was done. Okay. Like the game was, we knew when they went up 2 touchdowns, all they were going to do was open up that asshole. I think what you saw is the Eagles own the Giants. I mean, I remember driving home from Jersey and I'm driving through Philadelphia and I see on a billboard, they literally have on a billboard in Philadelphia right now, a billboard that says Giant Killer with the Eagle logo next to it. With the Eagle logo next to it. So what I saw there is the Eagles showed you what they're prepared to do. Shut you out and dominate you. Now, the 49ers are no Giant, but we're not talking about the 49ers right now. We're talking about this game. It was just pure dominance, dude. I mean, Jalen Hurts didn't have an inch of rust on him. Look at his stats, right? He went 16 for 24, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, QBR rating of 84. And geez Louise, did your rushing come out to play, dude? I mean, that was the icing on the cake of what set your standard of your game was your run game. It opened up everything. And from there on, you're able to pound, pound, pound. Giants could not keep up. It showed who Daniel Jones really is. He's a subpar quarterback who has got some really good coaches around him, but he's not a guy who can really make a run right now. Yeah, he scored a couple touchdowns on the feet throughout the year. He didn't do it this year, right? Or he didn't do it this game. My biggest thing is about you brought up the Devontae Smith, a touchdown. It's crazy to me how well you did in that draft, because the year before you guys, everybody thought that you shot your draft because who did you take? Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? You didn't like the picks that you had, huh?
Rager.
Yeah. It's like, what are we doing? And then you draft Jalen Hurts, and a few years later you get Devontae Smith. And then you add on A.J. Brown this past offseason. This Eagles team is just set up for success, head to toe, toe to head. But where it all starts with, again, is the point about that score. 38-7. You guys shut out the other team on the other side, who in its own right had a Jacksonville year, but a little bit better, a year that they should be completely proud of. But you show that you have the ability to make a team not even be in the same standard class where they should be in the building with you. I think that's the biggest takeaway. The Eagles had so much of a better performance this week than the 49ers did. And sure, the 49ers might have went against a somewhat better team. But the way that the Eagles shut out the Giants, dude, scary.
And that's what makes it so great, right? You said you started off with that running game, but then you went into the Devontae to the A.J. Brown. Those guys barely did anything this game. They scored a touch. Devontae scored a touchdown. Yeah. Goddard got a touchdown. A.J. Brown was pissed off that he only had, 20-something yards on 3 catches. He was pissed. He was mad that he missed that one touchdown late in the game that just overthrew him a little bit. And I love that because guess what? The Eagles can run for 280 yards. And they can throw for 450 yards. They can do it either way you want. If you're going to let them run the football, they'll run the football. This O-line loves running the football. You got guys all over that line that are all pros. Jason Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer. Isaac Seumalo, so underrated. Landon Dickerson, an upcoming superstar at guard from Alabama. And then you got the beast, Jordan Mailata, who is the franchise left tackle. Rugby, New Zealand native, absolute beast and a massive human being. And they just all have built up that cohesive unit, singing Christmas songs together and just absolutely pancake blocking guys. And they love running the football. And then you can go and throw for 400 plus if you need to. And that's where I think the Eagles are going to get to moving forward into this upcoming week here, Harry, if we kind of want to transition into that now.
I'm ready, dog.
I want to ask you, no bias here at all. Give me a straight up honest answer. When you look at this Eagles team, right?
Yeah.
How do you beat them?
Well, I'm going to give you the answer that I gave a friend of the show, the Hoover. We know who we're talking about. Took that prop position once you hung it up. When the graduating year came, he came to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what I told him. 49ers offense is going to come through the run, and the Eagles offense is going to come through the air. That's just what I believe. Though the 49ers are stacked through the air, I don't believe that
that's their biggest way. All right, sorry.
No, but they're not that way in their run, though. Their run still greatly outweighs them with the way that they've got McCaffrey and the way they got Debo playing. And the same way for the Eagles, dude. Hurts can obviously make a million different plays when he's on his feet. And you can distribute, those rushing yards. But the guys who get it done for you at the end of the day is the guys whoever Jalen decides to throw to. What I think the biggest thing is going to be is I don't want to give our picks yet because we're going to get into that later. But it goes back to the point that I made earlier. This is going to be a 2000s era game. This is going to be a low scoring game, dude. I can't see it otherwise. These defenses are too good to not have a low scoring game. The amount of pressure that both Purdy and Hurts at times are going to be under is going to be insane. The differences of what I see is that Purdy is not yet a franchise quarterback. Jalen is showing that he is. And that is going to be the biggest difference maker, is the guy who's behind center. That's what it's going to come down to. Because head to toe, dude, you guys are pretty much even juggernauts. I don't know in a toss-up who do I think truly is better. Except at that one position. The guy that you've got under center is clearly better than the other guy. He's just been doing it longer. He's come off of injury and still done it. I see the Eagles winning this game 19-16. I see the Eagles winning this game 24-20. I also see that's my other biggest thing is I don't think that this is a field goal game. I think it's specifically a 4-point game. I think that this game comes down to you got to kick a field goal and make an onside kick. Chance for either squad. But 100%, I think at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is the leader out on that field, the last extension of the coach, is that quarterback. Both of these defenses are set. There's nobody more scarier, in my opinion, on a football field than Nick Bosa. Maybe outside of Roquan Smith and obviously my favorite, Fletcher Cox. The point just being, though, this under center player is going to make the world's difference in this game.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that. That's the biggest thing the Eagles got. It's Jalen Hurts. He should be an MVP candidate. He is an MVP candidate. Sucks they're taking 3 games away, and all of a sudden that makes him not the MVP of the league anymore.
Right.
On the best record, on the best team all year. And I think that's most important if you're going to ask me. But anyway, I digress. Where it comes down to it, right, is if the Eagles lose this game, it's 2 things. They turn the football over. That's the only times that they've struggled. Is Jalen throws a pick, somebody gets stripped, or Nick Sirianni, Steichen, and Gannon, the coaching, you get those moments where what are we doing, fellas? Right? Why are we going against what's broken? Why aren't we doing the read, the run, pass, run, the run, options? Why aren't we?
A little bit of a stroke there, yeah.
I had something in my eye. Why aren't we going and attacking the seams with Dallas Goedert? Why aren't we hitting just quick slants to A.J. Brown? Why aren't we getting the ball in Devontae Smith's hand and letting him run? Why aren't we letting Jalen Hurts go and run with the ball? Why aren't we going downhill with Miles Sanders? Why are we dropping back and letting them go and run slants on us on defense? Why isn't Hassan Reddick going after the quarterback? Those are the only things where the Eagles, I've said this multiple times this year, it's the same thing. When they struggle, it's those 3 things. They just go away from what works and they turn the football over. We saw everything that went right, how beautiful it was last week. I think they're going to keep it going. They should keep it going. I'm not as confident as I was last week against the Giants, where I knew they were going to absolutely dominate them. But I'm still very confident that this Eagles team in the link, Brock Purdy hasn't played off the West Coast. He hasn't played in an environment like Lincoln Financial Field. Debo wants to say their fans are great, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. It's just not the same level.
It's not the link in January, in the cold weather.
Yeah.
This is a city where all they got to live for is the fucking Eagles. That's it. The Phillies when they do well, and sometimes Joel fucking Embiid. This city lives for the fucking Eagles. The 49ers, you got Silicon Valley, okay? You got the bridges. You got the beaches. You got California. You got California state taxes. You're all making $700 million. We get it. But in the city of Philadelphia, you got one thing and one thing only. What is that, Trilly? It's the fucking Eagles. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah. I didn't even talk about the offense. Greatest quote of this podcast. No, dude, what I want to know from you, and we're not doing picks yet, but I got to know what do you see? What do you think about what I just said, though, about the offenses for these two teams?
No, I like
it. The offense for the 49ers going to come through McCaffrey and Debo, and it's going to be heavily reliant on Brown playing the best game of his life, Smith getting open when he can for one or two big catches, and whoever else Jalen decides in that moment, I can make this work.
No, I agree with you, because they don't want Brock Purdy to have the ball in his hands. They don't want that. That is a recipe for disaster. The more he has the ball in his hands this game, the more this defensive line is going to get after him. The more this secondary is going to deflect balls, to disrupt him. They need to play bump and run, be up in their face. Don't let them get quick, easy, bang, bang, right over the middle. Make him throw outside the numbers, because these guys are ball hawks. You got CJ Gardner-Johnson, missed like 5 games, tied for the most picks in the league. Darius Slay is an all-pro. James Bradbury had a hell of a year, and he's got a chip on his shoulder getting cut by the Giants. He wants to get his money after this season, and I hope he does. It's not going to be with the Eagles, sadly, but get us this ring, James, and go get your money. This team is stacked in the back end and on that defensive line. The more Brock Purdy has the ball in his hands, the worse off they are. And they know that, and that's why they're going to try to run the football. And the Eagles have had problems with the inside run. They have throughout the season, but they've brought in guys like Lindell Joseph and Ndamukong Suh to help that out. They've been quiet lately. Robert Quinn, he's been quiet since the Eagles have gotten him. I'm expecting one of those guys to make a huge play, whether it's a strip sack or a big stop on 4th down, to just absolutely electrify this crowd. And I agree with you, because A.J. Brown, on the flip side of it, I talked about it, is he was pissed. And Nick Sirianni knows. He knows the Boston Scott memes. He knows when to get guys the ball, and he knows A.J. Brown's pissed off. This is going to be his game. You saw DK Metcalf absolutely obliterate their cornerbacks and that secondary. Yeah. You saw them struggle last week against CeeDee Lamb when they actually got him the ball. A.J. is going to take over. He's a dominant force, absolutely massive human being.
100%.
I love that.
All right, dude. Let's transition. We both are coming off of our worst weeks of betting. And that's okay. We're not going to talk about it because we don't fact check. We only fact check when we want to. So here's my question to you. We only got 2 games. Can you believe it? Only 2 games left. Teams are no longer playing. My question is, are we just going to do 2 picks? Or I got a little bit of a fun idea. 3 picks each game. Winner, points, and over-under. 6 bets.
Or how about we go winner, touchdown, anytime
winner, touchdown, okay,
and points.
Winner, touchdown, and points, okay.
Or total, team, like overall total.
Love it. Let's start with the Eagles. I'll go first.
Nah, let's go Chiefs first. Let's go Chiefs.
No. We've talked Eagles too much. We're going Eagles first. You're like, come on. No, we've been doing an Eagles show. We're going Eagles first. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm taking a chance. I'm taking an alternate spread on the points. I'm taking Eagles minus 3.5. They're
Yeah,
minus two and a half right now.
you're getting a point.
I'm getting a
You're
point.
you're
Plus
doing another
110.
point.
Plus 110 on that. I like it. Like I said, I think that this game comes down to that for a team to win or to push to overtime, I think it's a field goal and an onside kick. I see this being 24-20. I see this being 28-20, possibly. I see this being 19-15. That sounds like a year. Anytime touchdown. Can't believe I'm going to say it, dude, but I'm riding with him because I think he's just that much of a dog. I'm going Jalen Hurts.
He's money, bro. Anytime touchdown for Jalen Hurts is crazy.
I'm going Jalen Hurts, man. I think that is going to be probably the outside of if Meek Mill performs Dreams and Nightmares live,
Dude, he should do it again.
he should do it again. If he
They did it
outside
against
of that,
Minnesota this year.
yep. Outside of that, I see Jalen just marching down the field. They're on 3rd and goal, and he's like, "Mama, there goes that man," and he pulls out, and he just runs it in.
Yeah.
Jalen anytime touchdown. So I'm taking the Eagles plus 3.5. I'm doing a Jalen anytime touchdown. And finally, dude, I'm taking that under 46.5.
Yeah. No, I think the under's the play here. I'm not going to say that out loud because I hate the unders. I'm trying to look for these alternate spreads here, and I can't freaking find it, and it's annoying me. But no, I like the under there.
Yeah.
I like the Hurts a lot. I'm going to try to go a little bit out of the ordinary. I really like a AJ Brown touchdown here. I'm trying to talk myself into Kenny Gainwell a little bit. Not going to lie. He absolutely dominated that Giants team. He was running all over the place. He looked fast. And I think they might get him involved. He catches the ball out the backfield a little bit too.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of people on Twitter call him Corey Clement of this Eagles team.
I haven't seen that. I think that you're making that up.
What? Do you know who Corey Clement is?
No, that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it.
He was a good player for the Eagles in that run. He's a New Jersey native, South Jersey native. Shout out. He was a big Birds fan, won a Super Bowl with us. So I mean, if you want to get frisky with it, I like a Kenny Gainwell plus 360 anytime touchdown. And then, AJ Brown. And then I'm trying to look for it here because there it is. Eagles minus 6.5.
Shut the fuck up.
They're winning this by a touchdown.
Okay, break down that pick.
Brock Purdy, that's why.
Okay.
He's not going to be able to keep up with this team. I see the Eagles scoring 24, 28 points. And I don't see them scoring more than 14. I think they're going to try to run the ball, and they're going to get shut down. They're not going to be able to throw. I can see the Eagles just running away with this bad boy. I can see it being a 24-13 game. That adds up, right? Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. It's not going to be a blowout, but it's going to be an Eagles.
But it's going to be real deal.
It's going to be an Eagles. We're here.
Yeah. And we're coming for the chips with a dip.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Let's move to what should not be the primetime game, but is. Cincinnati coming off the best game of their season on the road last week against Buffalo in the snow. They're going to another cold weather stadium in Kansas City and Arrowhead, going against the McTriple Cheeseburger and Andy Reid with the most beautiful mustache of all time, and McPatty, Patrick Mahomes. Cincinnati plus, I mean, this is a pick'em, dude. Plus it's 1. The line is 1. KC's -1. Cincinnati's catching 1. Over under 47.5. Money line is Cincinnati plus 102. KC minus 102. This is telling you, dude, they don't know who to pick here.
Yeah.
Like Vegas, you don't see that line in a playoff game. KC's not even getting 2 points for being the home. They're getting a point.
Now, is that because of Patrick Mahomes' injury or how they're starting to respect the Bengals a little bit? Because that line of 5 last week against the Bills, that was kind of crazy.
I think it's more of this. I think it's the Cincinnati defense and the Patrick Mahomes injury. But I don't know if you've been seeing, I've been watching this local reporter in Kansas City. Patrick doesn't have a boot on.
He does not now.
He does not have a boot on. He has been going to press conferences for the past 2 days without a boot on and in practice without a boot on. He's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go. And I'll tell you something else. Maybe he's not even fully ready to go, but he is willing to break that ankle to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's willing to break that ankle to win a Super Bowl. So that's what it comes to at the end of the day. I went first on the last one. You're going first on this one.
I like Pacheco to get in for the touchdown. Because I think they're going to be running the ball a lot more. Now, McKinnon has been kind of stealing touchdowns as of late, but Pacheco getting 95 yards last week is a very encouraging sign, and he's good. Him wearing number 10 is not fair. Like, he just looks like Tyreek Hill as a running back this time, except stronger. So I like him getting in there to try to take some weight off of Patrick Mahomes, literally in that ankle. Take a cheeseburger off, if you know what I'm saying.
Take a cheeseburger off. I do know what you're saying, brother.
And then I've been struggling with that line big time.
It's weird.
The Bengals are a very good team. They proved it. Now, was that defensive outing last week a fluke? Was the Bills' offense just that much in disarray? I think so. I'm going to take the Chiefs, points-wise.
Minus the...
Yeah. And then, what was the over-under again?
Over under 47.5.
Over in that game. I think it's going to be a nice battle between Mahomes and Burrow, a classic 27-28 football game. Chiefs win it.
48 now, 48. Still taking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something wild. I love the points that you made. And I like the pick going with the Chiefs minus 1.5. Now, last week, I just admitted on the show, last week it was a bet of passion, taking the Bills minus the 5.5. But Trilly, what's a phrase as old as time on this show? They're due.
They're due.
And bets of passion are due. So I'm going to start out with the points because I'm going another alternate spread. I'm taking KC minus 5.5.
All right.
I'm taking KC minus 5.5. Out of respect to them fucking the Bengals up. Okay. Now, who am I taking for my anytime touchdown? I'm going to tell you who I'm taking because I think that KC has proven that there are holes in their defense. I'm going with another quarterback, dude. I'm taking Joe Burrow for an anytime touchdown at plus 500.
Yeah, he really hasn't used his legs all too much.
And I think that this is the time where he's going to do it. So I'm taking an alternate spread of KC minus the 5.5. I'm doing Joe Burrow anytime touchdown, and I'm riding with you through the over.
All right. Why do you like the over? Is it just because I'm so smart?
Well, I mean, of course, there's just too much offense. There's just too much offensive talent.
Yeah. No.
If I'm being completely honest, who do I definitely think is going to score an anytime touchdown? Where if I had $100 right now in my hand that I told you to put $100 on somebody, who would it honestly be? Who it honestly would be, and I'm going to throw it in anyway, is a 1,000% Juju Smith is going to score a touchdown in this game. No question about it. Cincinnati knows that they've got to perform at least if they perform, their defense performed to a 10 against the Bills, they got to do a 7, and that whole 7 is just going to be on Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Juju's going to be open, and Juju's plus 260. So, yeah, I like Juju a lot to score, but I also really like Joe to score, dude. I think he's got. You don't say a comment like our window is my career and not believe that you can do everything when you're on that field. And one of those things is score by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like, man. Now, my question is, can we combine all of that into a parlay? Can we do all of that?
We could.
Will it work? Will the bet take it? Will they take those two separate games?
Yeah, you should be able to. It's a parlay and then 2 same game parlays. You want me to do it?
Yeah, let's see. And who did I see?
Eagles 6. Well, actually, no, we won't be able to do the spreads.
No, you can't do any of it if you yeah, because the spreads. You're right.
And the total points. So I mean, if we picked one that we liked from the either, we could do
How
it
about
that
we
way.
just do this? Let's just do a parlay. Let's just do a parlay.
You want to do just
Anytime
touchdown?
touchdowns. Yes.
Yeah. See, bang, we're already on it.
Bang. How many are we gonna do? We gonna do 4, we gonna do 6.
Yeah, we'll do 4. We'll do
Should we do
Burrow.
6? Should we do
We'll do
6?
Juju.
Let's do 6.
We'll do AJ Brown. We'll do Hurts.
Okay, hold on.
And then who do you think's gonna score for?
Hold on. We're gonna do Burrow. We're gonna do Juju. We're gonna do freaking Burrow. We're gonna do AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I don't know. Do you want to put like McCaffrey? But I don't love it.
I don't love it either. I like Kittle more.
Yeah.
I like Kittle more.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
What is that? What is that giving us?
do we put the Philly defense in there, dude?
I know. I wanted to say it, dude. Dude, do it. Do it. Do it.
The
Do
money's
it. Do
good.
it.
The money's good. The money's good.
What is it?
Plus 600.
That's it for all of those? Oh,
No, no,
for
no,
the
no, no, no,
touchdown.
no, no, no.
Oh.
Just for but you know what?
Hi, Sylvie.
We can't do those why can't we do those games together?
Why not? You should be able to.
No, look at it. You can't. Oh, wait, hold on.
What are you talking about?
Dude. 15 to win 13 fucking grand.
Yes. Yes. If the Eagles get a touchdown, that defense, we're in the money, dude.
Oh, automatically we're in the money. We will right there the cash out. Okay, so we've got 5. We gotta put one more in. The number hasn't stopped yet. We gotta end on an even number. We don't do odds here. So are we going 3 each?
What?
Let's do 3 each. Let's pick one more from the KC Cincinnati game. One more.
Pacheco. Or do we go Kelsey instead?
No, that's too easy. He's too fuck, I don't know.
Or do you go like Jamar Chase?
I like Higgins.
All right, Higgins. I like Higgins.
Dude. Ladies and gentlemen, for the biggest payout in parlay history on this show.
We're going out with a bang here in the conference.
15 to win $45,000.
Yes.
The picks are Juju anytime, Joe anytime, T. Higgins anytime, Jalen anytime, AJ anytime, Philly anytime. Philly's got to score, bro.
Yeah, if we get that defensive touchdown, I feel it's coming, bro. It's going to be just like the link against the Vikings. 2018, Patrick Robinson, pick 6, juking off the sidelines, cutting over, and to the crib. And that place, it was over. After that. It was over. Dude, why can't I big strip sack, pick it up. Hassan Reddick's going to run it in, and he's going to give a big middle finger to fucking Joey Bosa on the sideline. Say, I should be the defensive player of the year, motherfucker, not you.
Can I get a fucking free bet? Fuck. I mean, come on, give me a chance, FanDuel.
Yeah, free 15 on it.
Well, dude, if they gave me a free 15, do you know what I would do? I would.
All right, dude, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. We got bedtime coming up. It has been another phenomenal episode. You know our picks. You know where we're coming. I don't know what that's about. The point being is, it's the NFC Championship. It's the AFC Championship. It's the AFC Championship. It's the NFC Championship. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Cold Ones Conversations. I'm Harry Heaps.
Peace.
Really?
See you guys. Go Birds, baby.